Introducing Microsoft Teams. Hello, I'm Franklin Pettit from Wofford's Information Technology Services, and along with Ron Wood, we want to tell you about a product from Microsoft called Teams. Microsoft Teams was launched by Microsoft in March of 2017. This product, very much like a product called Slack, and similar to other offerings from Google, allows you to communicate in real time. So it adds instant messaging and threaded conversations and a whole lot of other stuff. And the product really got going in 2017. In the fall of 2017, in October, Microsoft announced that Skype for Business, another product of theirs, Skype is a long-running communication tool for audio and video conferencing. They announced that Skype for Business, all of its functionality, would be folded into Teams. So let's take a look at Teams. Teams versus Slack. Again, Slack is a communication tool that allowed for instant messaging. It's used by some offices here at Wofford. It's used by many other small businesses and organizations that want to do real-time communication. And it has the elements of instant messaging, but a whole lot more than that. Teams was a direct competitor to that. It was a market that Teams wasn't really in, and it's grown from there. We've seen a lot of development in Microsoft Teams from 2017 to now. They continually add additional functionality, and so it has really grown and changed. But we want to kind of tell you what it can do and what it can't do. So what can it do? First of all, it is instant messaging software. It can do that, yes, absolutely. It also folds in cloud storage. So Microsoft has its own cloud storage offering. It has Microsoft OneDrive that many of you know about, like Dropbox or Box or Google Drive. So that functionality is folded in to the Teams software. So it's great for groups. So group OneDrive functionality, the best way to do group OneDrive is through Teams. So is it a collaborative workspace? The answer to that is also yes. So it gives you a way that you can chat, that you can share files, that you can get work done. You could use it in place of a project management tool. Yes, there are many other project management tools that are available, but yeah, it can do some of that kind of stuff. Can it do mobile messaging? Is there an app? Because we know our students and all of us love to have an app. It actually can do that. It does have an app. It has an app on Android and on iOS. And also, there are desktop clients for both Mac and PC that you can download. But what if I don't want any of that? Well, a web browser. As long as you have a web browser, you can access Teams from a web browser. And we'll get into that in just a minute. Does it do audio and video conferencing? Yeah, it's Teams. So it does meetings. It does audio and video calls. My team just today was able to use the software and have a meeting this week. Every morning this week, we used it with audio, video, and that brings me to the next point, screen sharing. You can do screen sharing through the software, and we'll get into that and show you how that works. So that kind of brings me down to, can it help with my course? Well, I hope so. We'll see. So over the next little bit, we want to show it to you and let you kind of see what you think you could do with it. So what is Teams not? Well, the version of Teams that we have and the implementation Wofford has, it's not true live streaming software like Zoom or WebEx. Zoom is the official Wofford supported software, and John LaFave is doing a session very similar to this about Zoom. Zoom is very simple. It's easy to get going and to have a lecture and let people join the lecture, and then you're in control of whether they talk. And I'm not really going to tell you about Zoom, but that's not exactly how video and audio conferencing works in Teams. So no, it's not live streaming software in the purest form like Zoom. So the next point is it learning management system software like Moodle. So Moodle is a learning management system, as you know, and it allows you to have your class in there And your students can get in, and you can have assignments and a grade book and all that kind of stuff, and share files and back and forth, and it works pretty good. They can turn things in via Moodle. It works great. Microsoft has dabbled, I would say, in LMS with Microsoft Teams. They've added a little bit of functionality, but not enough functionality to be a full-fledged LMS. And so we're not going to look at that. So we would say, is it like Moodle? No, not really is the answer. How do you access Teams? Well, again, I said you don't have to have a desktop client or a mobile app. You can do it just in a web browser. So we have an easy link for you to access it, and it's teams.wofford.edu. Will take you right to Teams. You can also always get to it from any of your other Office 365 apps. So if you go to office365.com, you log in, you see your tiles there. One of the options links will be for Teams, but you get to Word and Excel and all your other apps that you need there as well, and of course your email as well. So on the desktop, there is a client, and I provided the link here, and you can download that client, and I recommend that for either Mac or PC to download the client and get it installed. If you go to teams.wofford.edu, you launch the web client. In the left-hand sidebar, at the very bottom, they have a link that takes you to the download. But again, I provided the download link right here on the slide, and you can go there and get the client you need. And then finally, the mobile app. It's easy to get the mobile app in the iOS or the Android App Store. Just download it, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so that gets us started. You kind of have an overview of it, and now it's time for a demo. So I want to throw it to Ron Wood. He's going to talk about orientation of the Teams client. He's going to start and tell you about chat, and he's also going to tell you about a team.
Let's look at the Teams client and run through a quick orientation. When you first open the Teams client, you may be prompted to log in. If so, enter your username followed by @wofford.edu. Click the Sign In button, then enter your password. And click Sign In. After a few moments, the team interface will open. Across the top of the screen is the search bar. As you accumulate information in Teams, the search bar can be quite useful. To the left of the search bar is the new chat icon. The new chat icon is used to start new conversations within Teams. On the far left is the left rail menu. The left rail menu is used to toggle between the items you're working on. To the right of the left rail menu is the content area. The content area displays the items you're currently working on. To the right of the content area is the staging area. The staging area displays the details within each item. This is sometimes referred to as persistent chat. This is where all the action takes place within Teams. Let's start exploring Teams by looking at the user profile. To access your user profile, click the circle in the top right. The first option that we'll look at is the status. Your status is driven by your Outlook and Teams calendars. You can manually set your status from this menu. The next option we'll look at is Settings. Within the settings, you can pick your theme layout as well as how and when you receive notifications. The default settings work for most people. This is something you'll probably set up and then come back and tweak. Now let's look at the chat feature. To access chat, click on the chat icon in the left rail menu. To start a new chat, click on the new chat icon located on the left side of the search bar. This opens a new chat window in the staging area. At the top of the chat window, next to the To field, start typing the name of a person you would like to chat with. As you start typing the name, the system will automatically display the users that match. You can have a one-on-one chat with this user, or you can enter more than one name in the new chat window for a group chat. First, I'll set up a one-on-one chat with a user named Wofford Student. I select the correct match, then type my message in the new message box at the bottom of the chat window. When I finish typing my message, I click on the paper airplane or press the Enter key to send the message. My message will appear in the staging window. Any message replies will also appear in the staging window. Now let's set up a group chat with more than one user. I start by clicking the new chat icon located on the left-hand side of the search bar. This opens a new chat window. I begin typing the first name in the To field. I select the correct name from the list. I then start typing a second name in the To field. And select the correct name from the list. You can continue adding as many names as you need. You can also name a group by clicking on the expand icon on the far right side of the To field. Enter a name in the group name field. At this point, I can type my message in the new message window at the bottom of the chat window and click the paper airplane icon when I'm finished. All the users that are part of the group chat will receive the message and can respond. Let's talk about pinning and unpinning. As you use the chat feature, there's a lot of communicating going on. It can get overwhelming. You can move important chats to the top of the listing by pinning them. To pin a chat, click on the three dots that appear when you move your mouse pointer over the chat in the content area. Then select Pin from the drop-down menu. You will notice the pinned chats are moved to the top of the content window. If you have multiple chats pinned, you can rearrange the pinned list by dragging and dropping the chats in the order that you prefer. You can have up to 15 pinned chats. Chats can also contain files. Files can be uploaded in the chat window using the paperclip icon below the New Message window. You can also click the Files tab at the top of the chat window and select Share. Uploaded files can be edited directly within Teams by clicking on the file name. Everyone within the group chat can edit the file at the same time. Changes are automatically saved and synced across all users. While editing a file, group members can leave comments by clicking on the Comments button in the top right area of the window. Group members can have a chat conversation while editing the file by clicking on the Conversation button in the top right area of the window. Some features and functions may be limited when editing in Teams. Your desktop application can be used to edit a file with all features and functions. The three dots on the right side of the screen can be used to open the file using the locally installed desktop application or download a copy of the file. Now let's move on to Teams. To view the Teams, click on Teams in the left Braille menu. The screen will change and show a listing of your teams. The membership of a team is controlled by clicking the three dots to the right of the team name and selecting Add Member. Start typing the name of the user you wish to add. Then select the name from the list and click the Add button. Once all of your team members are added, click the Close button. Each member that was added will receive an email informing them. If you expand a team, you will notice every team has a channel named General. The General channel is automatically created when the team is created. The General channel is always visible and cannot be deleted. If you add additional channels by clicking the three dots to the right of the team name and selecting Add Channel, give the channel a name and click the Add button. Channels that are added can be deleted if they are no longer needed. Each channel contains a Posts and Files tab. The Posts tab works much like the Chat feature. The main difference is channel posts are threaded. To reply to a thread, click the Reply button at the end of each thread. The message box at the bottom should only be used if you wish to start a new thread. The Files tab within each channel works very similar to the Files tab within the Chat feature. You can upload or download files, create new blank files, and edit files within Teams. Just like within the Chat feature, when you edit a file within a channel, you can use the Comments feature and the Conversation feature while editing the file. That's a general overview of the Microsoft Teams Chat and Teams feature. Now I'll pass it off to Franklin, and he'll talk about the calendar and meetings.
Section of the video, we will be checking out calendaring, audio and video conferencing, and screen sharing. So let's jump right in. Calendaring. Along the left-hand sidebar, you will see a calendar icon. I'm going to click the calendar icon. It will load my Outlook calendar. I am logged in as a Wofford Professor, our test account that we are using in this demo. I do not have any meetings scheduled on the calendar for this week. I have two buttons in the upper right. I can choose Meet Now, or I can choose New Meeting. So I'm going to first click the Meet Now button. I want to have a meeting right now, and I can choose whether I want to toggle video on or off. Let's see, there's my video. My video is off. I can turn it back on. Hello. I can change settings here. I can turn my audio off and on if I wanted to. Prevent echo when there's already an active mic. Yeah, so there's some other options that we have down here. But so I can click Join Now. So I'm gonna do that real quick. There are no participants except for me. So I could invite someone. So I could choose Wofford student, and I could invite the Wofford student, and then Wofford student would be invited to join my meeting right now. If you need to do a one-on-one meeting with a student right away, you could do that. But most often, I think you're probably going to want to do meetings that are scheduled. So I'm going to hang up. And so it asked me, So it showed up in my chat, meeting with Wofford Professor. I was the only participant. If I click right there, I was the only one, and we're done. So I'm gonna go back to where we were. I'm gonna go back to the calendar, and I'm gonna choose new meeting. This time I want to schedule a meeting. And so this looks much like a meeting invite that you're used to over in your Outlook client for your email. I'm going to say test meeting, and I'm going to require Wofford students. It is nice that it auto completes as I type, and I can find the people I want. And I want Ron to join us today. Ron's going to jump on here and be our attendee, and so I can choose when I want that to be. I'm going to back it up, and I want it to be right at 3 o'clock. That happens to be the half hour that I'm working on. 3 to 3:30, that sounds good, does not repeat. So when you have a meeting, the meeting can be recorded, and we'll show you how to record the meeting in a little bit. But it's interesting that if someone who's invited, say Wofford student is invited, but Wofford student does not attend, if the meeting is just ad hoc, the student doesn't see if they didn't attend the meeting, they actually don't get an easy way to get the recording for the meeting. I know that didn't make a whole lot of sense, so we'll repeat that. We'll go back to that. But this next little box is what differentiates it from a meeting in Outlook. You can say, where do I want the meeting to take place? So where will the chat be? Where will the recording go? Where do we store everything? And so it's good if we would choose to have the meeting in a channel. So maybe you have a channel that's called Lecture 1 or Lecture 2 or Group Discussion 1 or Group Discussion 2. And so I'm going to choose Demo Channel 1. And I don't need a location, and this is obviously online, so it's virtual. And then I can do details. I'll say demo class discussion. I can go to my scheduling assistant. I can, just like I do in Outlook, I can see that Ron had a meeting in the last half hour, but he's free, and it looks like all my attendees are free. It didn't pull up Wofford student. I'm not sure exactly why that is, but it looks good to go. It looks like I'm good. So I'm going to go ahead and click send. So let me click send. So it's spinning while it sends. I will receive, or if I was the recipient of this, I would receive something into my email that told me I had a meeting, just like normal, just like for a normal meeting invite. We're going to wait on that to just form up. And once it's sort of finalized and created my meeting, we're going to go in there and take a look at what it did. So my meeting has been finalized. I can see that one of my recipients, Ron Wood, has joined the meeting. I'm going to click join. And so before I join, again, I can toggle my video off and on. I can toggle my audio off and on. And in this case, I'm good to go, and I'm going to click join. And there's Ron. Ron's joined our meeting. So Ron's in here in our meeting, and there I see my video down in the right-hand corner, and we can look at our participants, and we see Ron and Wofford Professor, but that Wofford student didn't show up, so there was no response from the Wofford student. So now that the meeting has begun, I'm going to click more actions down here, and I'm going to start a recording of our meeting. So it'll begin recording our meeting. And so we can obviously have the group discussion that we intend to have, and we can see each other We can obviously we can share a screen, so that brings in screen sharing. So I'm going to click on the share button here, share, and I can choose a particular window on my computer, or I can share my entire desktop. In this case, I'm going to share my desktop, and I've got a browser up now, and I'm going to take the browser just to wofford.edu. I think that would be a good thing. And Ron, can you see my screen? Okay, and so Ron sees that I have navigated to wofford.edu. And so obviously any other sort of collaboration that needs to be done can be done. I can even go so far as to give control to Ron. Up here, I could stop presenting, and I could or I could give control to Ron if I wanted to. But in this case, I'm going to keep presenting, and I can navigate and say, Ron, we're going to look at the academics webpage, and that's it. And we can show whatever we need to show. So I click the same little button down here in my inset, and I can stop sharing the screen. Okay, and so at that point, let's see, I get video again. And so meanwhile, this whole thing has been recorded. So now we've come to the end of our meeting, and I'm going to click the 3 dots there, and I'm going to click Stop Recording. Okay, and it prompts me and says, do I want to stop? And the answer is yes, I want to stop recording. So I've finished the recording. I tell all of my attendees goodbye, thank you for your attendance, and at this point, we're done. So thanks, Ron. Say bye. And so that ended the meeting. So again, we had the meeting in a channel. So we can see what was created. If there was any discussion that via text, the text discussion would have been in the same thread in the demo channel where we put it, demo class discussion, and it already worked on a video for us. The video has sort of it expires after a certain amount of time, but it quickly created the video for us. If I click right here, I should be able to get I downloaded the video, and the video downloaded really fast. And if I wait just a few more minutes, within minutes, the video will be available to be streamed straight in line. It's probably still uploading. It's not a very big video, and so if you were to have a longer discussion, a longer meeting that lasted a full hour, it might take a little bit longer to encode. But again, if we come back to this in a little bit, we'll be able to show you that what you have here is a way to just view the video right in line. But in this case, I was able to go ahead and download it as an MP4 that can be used, and we can roll on and see the video or share it or do whatever we need to. But for Wofford student who did not attend the lecture, the Wofford student, again, in just a few minutes, were able to come right in this channel and view the video of what went on, even though they didn't attend. So it's a possibility this could be used for lectures in a limited fashion. Again, everybody's video's on. You might have people, talking over one another. It's not really set up for live streaming like Zoom, but it certainly is cool functionality for video calls, for small group meetings. Maybe you have a course where the students work in teams. I think this could be a possibility of something you could really use. Again, group discussion, it seems like it would work pretty well for that as well. So that leads us to the end of meetings and also audio and video conferencing, and then also screen sharing. So we'll go right into, let's go back to our PowerPoint and kind of show you what's next. Well, that brings us to the end of our Teams demo. I know we went really fast, so what's next? Well, we have a quick start guide provided by Microsoft that does a good job about getting you started with Teams. We will post it alongside the video. Microsoft provides a Teams help site located at support.office.com/en-us/Teams. This site is very good. We found lots of good resources there, including short videos and lots of information about Teams features The next thing is Teams. Teams is a product that is being worked on all the time. It's in active development, and we have seen a lot of changes come through in the last couple of years. So if there's something that you do not see that Teams can do, or that you're interested in, it might be something they're working on. So ask us, and we'll be glad to kind of look at that with you and try to help you figure out if it's something that you can do or something that's possible. There are many advanced topics we didn't cover in this training. We would be glad to assist you with advanced topics, things like linking to other systems, maybe customizing the team for your specific needs. And Ron Wood and I would love to support you in that. If you'll just contact the ITS help desk, and we'd be glad to give you some additional training. Thank you.